Okay. I did not realize I was live. Looks like I'm live. We are not starting before 18:30. So I'll just hang out here and prepare stuff. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to chat. And we just wait for like 5 minutes or something before we start. Just playing some music while we wait until 1:30. Matthew. Yeah, good thing I didn't pick my nose. That's a good one. Did you delete your message? Looks like we are 4 online. Hello, Matthew. Yeah, I didn't mean to start until 1:30, but yeah, YouTube is messing with me. I was just preparing stuff. What I can talk about before we start, I have some points here I want to discuss. Modular. Because I also need some help, as per usual. So I have some points here. I want to discuss the Triquetra, of course. I'm working on the wheel version, but I have some cooling issues I want to solve before I release it. I'm not happy with the cooling as is. I made some changes. I've not printed this, but we can look into it a little bit later. And yeah, so when the wheel version is done, I want to look into the MGN version, because we do want one for MGN as well. And I do have an MGN here. And we could do, I'm not sure, this is also something I would like to look at, placing the MGN on the front, in the front of the axis, or on the top. I'm still on the fence regarding that. It also depends if this is for like the wee baby. I mean, the front would probably be the best, as we do not have to change our tower for the idlers. But if the MGN version is like a universal mount, it could be the top and it could be the front. I do not want to add the MGN to the rear, and also I do not want to have it under. At least I don't think I want it under, but we can discuss that as well. Yeah, it's okay to be rude on a Friday, Matthew. I also want to talk about making... You know, I cannot satisfy everyone, because there is always someone asking for something more. When you make something, they want it for like the Ender 3, and they want it for the CR10, and they want it for whatever. So should I make a Triquetra universal type? I don't know. We could do it modular, because I have been asked to make the Triquetra for the Viking. And it could be modular. So we could grab the whole Triquetra. Let me, yeah. Not the carrier. The carrier sits. It's like a bracket or something. And then we just add the tool head. It could be interesting. I would like to look into that. So we're still waiting a little bit. And then we want to look into the new C drive. This is just a prototype, a work in progress. It's just something I want to test. Maybe a replacement for the worm gear. The worm gear works fine, so why should we change it? Well, there's also the price. This is a cheaper solution. And it might also be smoother than the worm gear. Less backlash, maybe? Hello, Lars. I'm not really started. I'm just preparing, really. I did not plan to start before past. So I'm just talking about what I'm going to talk about. I'm guessing it will be not too long, half an hour, maybe 1 hour at the tops. So currently just a few guys here, that's okay. And yeah, let's have a look at this part inside the printer. I will also try to accommodate this design so it also can be used in the Viking. This is for the V baby. I need to turn it 90 degrees around for the Viking. This one is also for the 10mm belt. And some smart guy told me the last time around I did this live stream, there was a guy told me that I should have the pulley here, not on the outside. Before a previous version I had the pulley here and I had the gear here. I had the motor on this side. So that's new. This might be better, I don't know. It's easier to align this with the belt as is. So we can take a look at the belt. The belt. We cannot look at the belt, we can have a look at the system. So this is the top idler. And this is the what lifts the bed. Do you see? Yeah. And this is what is under. And we have the pulley here. And then we have a pulley over here. No, we have an idler over here. And then we can remove this one. We have the anchor point here. One anchor point here and one at the top. At the top we also have a tensioner. So the belt goes from, we can start in the bottom, goes from here on this side, and it goes up above this idler, over to this idler, then down to the pulley on the left side of the pulley, this side, under the pulley and up to the upper idler, around the idler and down to this guy, and then over to this guy, and then up to this point. Hello, Robota. Yeah, why do we want to remove the worm gear? You tell me. Should we remove it or should we keep it? It's still in the bill of materials. The worm gear is part of the bill of materials. So this is just me testing out new stuff. It's basically if it's possible to improve anything. If this does not improve anything, but there have been issues with the layer binding, and I don't know if it comes from the gear or what it comes from, but I did do with the current worm gear, I did do, let me show you guys if it comes out on video. I don't know. I did a wobble test and it's perfect. There's no layer binding on this whatsoever. So yeah, why should we change it? Well, it's cheaper, and if it works as well as the worm gear, it's also easier to source this belted gear. So there are a few reasons. Price and maybe less backlash, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, just tell me what you think about changing the worm gear to this belted gear. We can have a look at the base frame. Let me know if the music is too loud. I forgot to turn the music down. Let me turn the music down. Hello, Andy from Canada. Welcome to the party. So here you can have a look at the base frame and the belted gear. So anyway, I have this prototype now for for like the, yeah, I don't know how many times I printed this now. It's not actually too bad, maybe 4 times or something. So this is the latest version. This is like the first, one of the first versions also mounted everything, but here I have the pulley outside. If you have a look at what we have now, we have the, yeah, it's the other way around. We have the pulley in the center and we have the gear on the outside. I don't know what's the best. Thank you, Andy. Anyway, let me try it. Let me try it and see. Because I did have some issues with my with the Z-axis on some of the wobble. We can have a look. Let me see if you can see this. There are some issues here. I figured out it was something with the wheel. Something was rubbing. Actually, there was some debris on the wheel causing this issue. So I removed that and then it was good again. So my wobble tests are good. Yeah, so anyway, let's just test this prototype and see what comes out with, because I don't release anything if it doesn't improve anything or give us an advantage. The advantage could be price, and it could be ease of sourcing. Yeah, belted C. I think belted C is, I've been doing that now for 4 years. And at least we don't have a wobble problem. So, oh, Riccardo, come stai? No, that's Italian. I don't know Portuguese. I did have a Portuguese girlfriend, so maybe I should know some Portuguese, but anyway, welcome Riccardo de Sena. So, yeah. What do you think? Should we go for a belted gear or should we keep the worm gear? We can move to the Triquetra while you think about it. Let's have a look at the Triquetra. So I've been running this for a while now. I do stress test it like every day, and it's working great. I do have some video to show you just quickly. Maybe you've seen it already. Let me find it and get back to you. Yeah, not the best footage, but we can take a look. So acceleration is good. I did some acceleration calibration and figure out that 4000 is a good number. Doing 10 on the jerk. But it's very stable. Print results are good, but I do have a problem with cooling. I can show you a model I just printed. You don't see my screen now. Typically, I forget to change. Sorry. Here we go. Just have a look in the chat. Christoph wondering if the belt could work on this Viking. Yes, of course. I just have to turn it 90 degrees around, and then you can use the belted gear for the Viking as well. I will look into that. But first I will test it and see if there is any point doing it. But here you can see I'm running 150 millimeter a second. 4000 in acceleration, 10 in jerk, and yeah, 0.3 layers. So we are pushing 25 cubic millimeter a second with the Mjolnir extruder on the Triquetra tool head. So I think that's good. But we need to figure out what to do with cooling. So here we are. Because the cooling is not good. And by experience, these fans should provide enough airflow. There are 2 of them. And on the current WeBaby, this guy, this is our current Bowden setup. The fans do provide good cooling. but they do point more down towards the bed. And that's very strange to me. So if you look at the Triquetra, sorry, here we go. These fan shrouds points more towards the nozzle. I can find the sketch for this. Let me find the sketch. Here we go. So this is the sketch for the fan shrouds. So we are looking at, they are 50 degrees from horizontal and up, pointing towards the nozzle. So the nozzle tip is here, and my airflow is aiming like here. So this is, I don't know how far away we are. Let's try to, so we're about 3.4 millimeter under the nozzle. Let me see what you guys think. Martin is sticking with the worm gear. Yeah, sure. Yes, the angle, and they're saying the angle could be adjusted, but how should we point it? Where should we point it? I'm not sure. We could, should we go more flat like this? And maybe closer to the nozzle? Something like this. But then we will have a heat issue. You know, the fan shroud would melt being so close. So maybe we could go a little bit closer. We're starting to get very close. I don't know. This is all very difficult. Or should we angle this even more towards the nozzle? Should we go like this? So our airflow is just under the nozzle. We don't want to cool the nozzle. This might be a good idea. And maybe we can go a little bit closer. Something like this. Just now going to have a look at what you guys say. Or write, rather. More horizontal across the nozzle, Andy says. No. I cannot go much lower. Maybe we should try something like this. Maybe a little bit closer. I'm a little bit afraid of the fan shrouds melting if too close. We also need to make sure, because there's a heater. We have the heater. The heater comes out here. So we need to have space for the heater. It's probably gonna crash now with the heater. There are so many things to think about when you design this stuff. Let's go back 12, 55. Maybe we could have it, it doesn't need to be this big, the opening. Could be a little bit thinner, actually. More like this. Maybe even smaller. If we go 8. Yeah. 4mm opening. No, not too close, no. If you do it like this, if we do it really, the opening small, if we do a small opening, we can angle it more. We can go more towards the nozzle, like this. What's the... we could maybe go a little bit lower. If we go 14.5, we have 2.5mm from nozzle tip to the fan shroud. That's not much. I would rather have some room. Anneal over time. Well, PET-G, I don't know if it anneals really. I already melted one fan shroud. I don't know why it melted, but it did. If we go CPE is better. It has higher TG and PET-G. So I do prefer CPE, but it's not so accessible. Denatus wants a bird air. Yes, I do know the bird air, and I don't know if I don't want to mess with it. If people want to add the bird air, I think that's fine. But for me, I would like to, because I do have a good experience with these fans. On the current system, I think the cooling is good. This is the current of blowers. It's a little bit different angle. I don't know. This confuses me a lot. But I do think by changing the opening, getting if we have a smaller opening like this, 4mm opening, then we will also have a stronger air flow. The speed of the air will be higher when we close. When we close the opening, the speed of the air will increase. If we open it up, it will decrease. So having a smaller opening makes sense. Because on the current system, if you look at the WeBaby as is, we do have a smaller opening. This is 4mm. So the opening here is 4mm. It's actually, we did have 6. Our current opening was 6. Now we have 4. And I think we have a good angle. We also have 4mm space to the heat block. which should be okay. Let us try and see. You don't use a sock. Why don't you use a sock, Andy? I don't have the option to run simulation, airflow simulation. I don't have a license for that. This could be okay. We can make it a little bit smaller, like this. Smaller means higher air pressure. And in this way they are exactly where it should be in terms of aiming. It aims towards the nozzle. Let's go to the final product and see. There's something going on here. Oh. Okay. Something weird happened here. Let me just fix that real quick and wow, this was strange. Just a couple of minutes, guys. I don't know what happened here. I'll soon be back on the chat and have a look. Just trying to figure out what happened here. Okay, so I messed up something. I'm not sure what I messed up, but let's not use time on that. I will fix that. And so this is what the fan shrouds looks like now. There's gonna be some minor changes to the outside design, but that's something I'm gonna fix. That's detail designing, just to make it a little bit prettier and a little bit narrower, and yeah. Let me have a look at what you guys say. Yes, I will use a sock. Yes, I'm planned. I do use a sock on my heater block. I'm just reading the comments. Smaller opening is good idea. Thank you. Heat creep. Yes, I know I have to deal with heat creep, of course. That is taken into account. So, and that's also why I don't want to cool. I don't want to cool like the nozzle. But heat creep has been no problem whatsoever. I've not seen any heat creep in this design so far. PID tuning issues with the air coming down too close to the heater block. That is correct. But with a sock, this is not a big problem. And so far, PID tuning is great. There's no problem. I can activate the fan as is now, and we can have a look. So what I can do is activate the fans. And then we can have a look how it goes. So while that warms, there's some more comments I need to read through. What do you mean, Heis? I use a 3D mouse, yes. I use a 3D connection. You can have a look at my mouse. I cannot live without that mouse. It's just awesome. Sock is needed, yes. Yes, yes, but we should use a sock because it also helps with you know, PET-G tends to stick a lot to the heat block, so using a sock will prevent some of this happening. Yes, I do read the comments out of order. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I think let's leave it at this. Let me test this design as is now. And then we can do another review next Friday, or next Friday is like Easter, I think. But maybe next week I can come back with some feedback on how this will work. It looks too close to the nozzle. It looks too close to the heat block. Yeah, let me have a look at it. So I have something more I want to go through, because now we have been live for 25 minutes. We have been talking about the belted gear, and we have been talking a little bit about the Triquetra, the wheel version, the MGN version. Should we mount the MGN on the front or on the top? What comes into play is, of course, distance to the hot end comes into play, but also where to place the belt. So the belt placement, we don't want the belt placement to be too high. We want it to be like as low as possible, to the center of gravity, at least. In the center of gravity, I'm not able to show the center of gravity right now, but the center of gravity right now is about here, this point on the Triquetra, the tool head. So I don't know if you can see this point about there. Maybe I can activate it. Let me see. No, I'm not able to activate it. I don't have it somewhere. So yeah, I would like some opinions about where to place the MGN for the MGN version, because I do want to design an MGN version as well. And then we have yeah, should it be modular? That's something will come later. Should I have a universal one, and so on. And then we have, I'm just gonna read. No wheels, no wheels with the MGN, no. So the MGN is to replace the wheels. Yes, of course. I'm not able to use the wheels and MGN, or it's possible, but yeah, that would be weird. I think. See dry body. Yeah. So we are here. But also one thing I want to discuss is, because I do want to start designing a new 3D printer. And I already started a couple of times, but I'm still things have been a little bit up in the air regarding this design. And I want it to be all rails. This one I want it to be all rails, and I want a triple C axis. Not decided for what kind of lifting system. If it should be these are ball screws, but I'm not sure about ball screws. Maybe it will be belts. And I'm not sure about what kind of size of frame I should use. If I should use 2040s or 2020s. I have one more to show you. I have the Valkyrie. And I need to start prototyping this, because I have a lot of parts and I want to start prototyping. So this is a 2020 system. And here I did some, just to test, we can have a look at this x-axis as well. I'm not able to open that, okay. Isolate. So here you can see there's a lot of MGNs. Let me remove, there's something weird here, like this is better. So here you can see like bottom mount, front mount, and top mount. Yeah, so I'll have to figure that out. Maybe I make one for front mount and one for top mount. I don't want to do the bottom mount. I do not want to use, because it's too far away from the center of gravity, because the center of gravity is not on the nozzle, but what is important is the center of gravity, and it's up here somewhere. Let's unisolate that and have a look at the frame. So this frame is open in the front, and I'm not sure it's going to be open. Maybe we have one crossbar at the top or somewhere. And also I'm wondering placing motors on the rear, and maybe electronics, doing electronics on the underside, like this, something like this. I need to flip these guys around. This is from before, but have them on the underside or on the back. Martin says C-rails is silly. Oh, no, I did not mean to use 3 rails. No, this is just to illustrate what options we have. I'm just going to use 1 rail. Never 3. No. This is just to have a look and see what how we can mount the Triquetra toolhead on the x-axis, on the top mount, front mount, or bottom mount, or rear mount. So don't be confused about the three rails. They are just there for illustration purposes. This is early in the process for the MGN version. But I think also rails on the y-axis should be on the underside. I do like that. And yeah, this frame is not final, so I need to make some changes because I want these profiles I want lifted up at least like 50 millimeters, 60 millimeter up. But this is one option. This is another option. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But that's basically what I had to talk about. So maybe we can talk about what you guys have in mind, or suggestions you have, ideas you have. .30-30s, yeah, it would be nice with 30-30s actually. The only problem with 30-30 profiles is that we might need to use MGN 15 to cover the slot here, because this slot is wider on the 30-30, if I remember correctly. And also 30-30s, my provider, my profile provider does not provide 30-30s, and they might be more expensive. I think the Voron uses 2020s and the BLV MGN Cube uses 2040s. So, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, guys, I think I don't have much more now. We talked about Triquetra. We've done some changes to the fan shrouds, so let me test that. I will also test the belted gear. This is the old one and this is the new one. So I printed some more brackets for the C drive, because we also need a new top mount for the idler top for this gear. Comes like this. Okay, so I guess that's it. Just gonna catch up on the chat. Ditch all rails. They're noisy. They need a lot of maintenance. Are expensive and no benefits. Yeah, you're onto something, Martin. The thing is that regarding price, I did look on the price, and actually, if you do buy good wheels, like open build wheels, actually the rails are pretty much the same price. You can get decent rails for the same price as 3 wheels. So the price difference is not that big. But yes, they need more maintenance. You might get bad ones. They are not so forgiving as wheels are. They are more noisy, yes. But they are also more precise. So there are pros and there are cons. But I would like to test, I have 6 rails laying around, so let me try them out at least. It does not need to be released, but let me try them out. I might start prototyping not next week, but the week after. So we can do some, we can have a look at it and see. Maybe we can design the printer first, and then we can mount the rails, and then we can ditch the rails and mount some wheels. What's WS2? What's that? Denitus. There's a little bit of lag, of course. Tungsten deals. There's another issue I want to talk about as well, because on my current V-Baby, I have the 200 size V-Baby. Let's have a look also, before I talk about that, we can have a look at, you can see here, there was some concerns about PID tuning. This is the current Triquetra, and as you can see, the temperature is dead straight at 220. There's like no fluctuations. You don't see that now because you see me. I'm really bad at this live stuff. Here you go. Here you go. Yeah. You can see the temperature chart. It's dead straight. It goes down to 219.9 and then up to 220 again. It's crazy straight. And this is with the fans blowing 100%. So PID tuning is dead on. Okay, so I did talk about something. Yes, I have one issue with my V-Baby, and it's resonance. These towers seems to resonance a lot, and I don't know if the resonance comes from the motors or from these towers. Especially on low speeds, like 60 to 100, or maybe even 30 to 100 millimeter a second, I have a lot of resonance here. And it might be the bolt, because the bolt is not a good solution for either. We should have bearing shafts, and I did buy bearing shafts, so I'm gonna change. I currently have screws here. These are bearing shafts, so I'm gonna change over to bearing shafts, and I should have that here as well, but I don't know if it fits. But anyway, I do have resonance, and of course I don't run Clipper, so I'm not able to do input shaper. But input shaper is coming to do it as well on RepRap firmware, so I would rather wait for that than to use Clipper, because I don't know Clipper and I don't have an SPC. So, but what could I do to decrease resonance? I could print, of course, above 100 all the time, but that's not really possible. Denitus, fighting cooling, you says it does not do that while not fighting cooling. Okay. Yeah, it will always fluctuate a little bit because it's PWM. So the temperature will always be a little bit. It will go down and up, up and down, up down, always. That's what the PWM does. It fluctuates a little bit and it adjusts. So when it's 0.1 off on the temperature, then that means it's really good. That's not even fluctuating. If you have better than this, then please show me. Yeah, but anyway, I about resonance, you didn't really have a good answer for me, so I'll just try to figure out something myself. I do have a PT 1000, so it's more accurate than the GT 103, 104 rather. But that's it, guys. Do you have any more questions for me? I will, by the way, before I end this stream, I did get a proposal from Vision Miner. They would like me to test their adhesion. It's not a glue, it's some kind of glue, but I have done some testing. I can show you the product. Let me show you the product. So this is the product. So it comes in bottles like this, and then you have this brush. So you just there's a tip. I can show you the small one. So just paint the bed with this and just brush it, and it works for all filaments. Also peak, ULTEM, all kinds of high-end exclusive materials. It will also work for ABS and of course nylon and whatnot. So I've done some initial testing, and I must say I'm pretty impressed. And it doesn't leave anything. It leaves like nothing on the bed. Nothing like glue or anything. So I really like this stuff. I think there's a link down below. If you want to test it, you can get 10% off this guy. I will make a video for a proper review on that one. Okay. Anything else before we say good night? I think you're happy with that, and so am I. So I will sign off from Oslo, Norway, and I'll wish you a nice Easter and yeah, a good weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you, Martin.